welcome back. This is By the Book, and we're your married relationship coaches. I'm Sin.
I'm Sil.
And today we're talking about Married at First Sight, Season 18, Episode 14. I'm pretty sure. It feels like an eternity. Wanted to jump in and talk about Emem and Ikechi, I guess, again, maybe for the last time. Who knows? It looks like it's wrapping on up for us.
Yeah.
But what did you guys think about the session that they had with Dr. Pia? My husband and I were kind of just talking about whether there was anything effective about that session. I mean, to be fair to Dr. Pia, right? Like, there's nothing, you can't squeeze blood from a turnip. Like, there's really nothing there, so I can't really fault her. I just feel, maybe I should feel disappointed with the process itself, as opposed to with that particular session.
Yeah.
I feel like you probably didn't like the session, but I don't know. There's not much to do to save these two.
Yeah.
And I feel like sad watching MM continue to push for this marriage. Dare I say, when it's obviously over. I don't know exactly what she's trying to do. I don't know if she's playing the angle of trying to make him look as bad as possible. She doesn't have to. He looks bad enough. Because when I hear her say things like, I'm in this thing and, I'm going to see my marriage through to the end. I'm in it to the end. It is the end, ma'am. Like, what do you mean? Like, 8 weeks does not symbolize the end to me. The end symbolizes the end. His attitude, his demeanor, his approach, his removing his ring, his disrespect, it's the end. So there's nothing left for you to kind of do in terms of effort. It's for what? Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't see the reason.
I think what you're saying is a heightened level of commitment. I think she's committed to the commitment, and I believe in our culture that is very far and few between. People give up so fast and so frequent that when someone comes really committed, even though they have the other person is not as committed, obviously, they're still committed to the commitment. I think it's to be commended, and I think for some people it would probably read as, oh, she's thirsty, or she's desperate, or whatever the case may be. I just think she has a really strong sense of commitment, and I believe in this regard, when you were saying the plug and play, I think in that regard, no matter who they stuck in front of her, she was going to be committed as long as they set those vows.
That's definitely going to come off as thirsty. I don't knock Emem. I think she's a nice person. She's a good person. I think she was committed. But at what point does it just become foolish and self-destructive to proceed in that manner? Like, you're oblivious to everything that's happening in front of your face. You're like, oh, I'm going to just trudge on. They're like, what? What prize do you win at the end of this for saying that I didn't give up? Like, what does it serve her to be committed to the commitment? The commitment of what? The 8-week commitment? Because she's not really committed to a lifelong marriage. She realizes that this thing is going to end at the end of the 8 weeks. So I don't understand that.
Yeah.
I'm not commending that. I'm sorry.
I have to, because it's so many people who do not go into real marriage. We say this is a fake marriage, into real marriage, and they do not have that level of commitment to their real marriage. And so at the first hint, the first sign of things aren't just going the way that you were anticipating them to be, or you just don't have that same feeling that you had on the wedding day, and you're ready to throw it all in because
this
wait a
is
minute,
not the
I
first sign.
the wrong person.
It's a lot of signs. It's like billboards all up and down the highway. Like, there are a lot of signs for her that this is over.
Yes, I understand. I understand the reality of it, but she also, again, You can't talk. Well, you can try to talk a person out of their commitment. It happens a lot of times, you know. But I think she just really has a strong sense of, when I say I do, I'm all in until I can't be in anymore. And I
Okay,
think that's it.
what means you can't be in anymore in this situation?
I believe when they've signed their papers.
No,
I
but
believe that's when
I mean,
when
she could just not do. I mean, what do you mean? What symbolizes the actual end for her?
I think that
He has to do it, or
No,
he has to.
I think when they actually sign those papers and the judge says, they stamps
I
that
get
paper
it,
and says
but-
you're divorced. I believe that's when she's not in anymore.
But you have to make it to that point, right? Like
Yeah.
nobody just. Well, I mean, I guess Ike tried. Well, I guess we'll get to that at some point. But nobody generally just drops divorce papers in your lap. You go through a divorce,
Yeah.
and that means you've accepted that there's the end. For most people, for real marriages, right?
Yeah.
So at some point along the way, before the divorce is actually happening or even, final, she will have had to give up on that commitment, right? So what is enough to symbolize that this is the end?
I believe she sees that he's probably not going to change his mind. He's probably not going to change any of the way he deals with her or with anything. But I think for her own sense of, I left it all out on the field and I didn't give up until I signed. I believe that's what she's kind of like going for. And I believe, be honest with you, I believe that if he was to give her something as far as to say, hey, I'm willing to work on it just a little bit, I believe that would carry her on through the 8 weeks. I don't think she would. I just don't really think that she would go, if he gave her something to say, I'm willing to work on it just a tad bit. I don't think she would go into decision day and say no. I don't see that.
I agree with you. I think all of us see that she wouldn't do that. The problem is, why not? Because at some point you do have to make a decision that's in the best interest of yourself, your well-being, your mental health. This marriage doesn't serve her in the least.
I agree.
She can't sacrifice everything that she is to be in this relationship that is not working.
Yeah.
Like that. I mean, I don't know. You guys let us know what you think about that. But that's wild and crazy to me. Ikechi, terrible husband, wasn't prepared. I could say all the list of bad things. But at some point, we, women or whomever is in this position, has to say enough is enough. And not, I mean, because she's just continuing to allow him to pile on. If we move on to, his behavior at the couples retreat, for him to show up, he has to come and make a scene. He wants to show up late, and I don't want to hear one word that he has to say in the after party about how he didn't want to make a scene. That is absolute crap. Like, he wanted to make a scene. He wanted to embarrass her. He wants to put her in the worst possible position.
Exactly.
Here you came with your goofy self to this scenario with one paper that's not even a signature page. That's super embarrassing. But you came to embarrass her.
Yeah.
And I guess maybe that's where the enough was enough, because she said she would sign. I don't even know if he had all the pages, if she would have signed.
Yeah.
Actually, I would advise her not to, because she
yeah.
now have an opportunity to read it. They probably were drinking, hire an attorney, things of that nature. But it just, and then he says, like, what did he say? It's a formality.
Yes.
It's not a formality for me to sign the wrong sheet of paper.
A legal document.
Like,
but
what are you
it's a
talking about?
formality. Yeah, that dude.
He meant it was symbolic. I think that's what he was trying to say, and he didn't choose the right word. It was just to symbolize, this is the end of our marriage. So I don't care what page you sign. Just put it down so that I know, and that you know, and that all the people here that I'm trying to embarrass you in front of know that this is the end.
Yeah.
And it was so sad, because then she's trying to save face and sit at the table and talk to them like everything is okay.
But you could tell she was hurt.
Oh, she was hurt. She was hurt deeply.
Yeah.
But again, that is because she stays so invested in this, well beyond all of the handwriting being on the wall.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that's wise. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. I don't think that you commit to the commitment, as I know you like to say, to your own detriment, not in a scenario like this.
Yeah.
It's not valuable enough. This fake marriage, glorified dating, is not valuable enough to put you into that position.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I understand where you're coming from. Do I fully agree? No, but I do understand. I do get where you're coming from. And Ike, my goodness, man, I want to rake you across the coals so bad, because
they get mad at us one year when we call somebody trash, but if the shoe fits.
Dude, I mean, come on, trash. I mean, garbage. I mean, how he moves, how he acts, the whole thing is trash. I mean, how he's treating her is trash. I mean, for him, first of all, like you said, to go into the meeting with Dr. Pia, basically, I think he was being honest at that particular point, saying he did not want the marriage and he wanted to kind of move on. Man didn't move on. Dr. Pia, zip it. Let him go. Yeah, let him go. Yeah. He was never really there in the first place, especially not past the honeymoon. So let him go. Let him go on his married way, and then help him to begin the healing process, because that's what needs to happen.
Yeah, she does. I mean, and that just made me mad all over again, talking about him showing up how many times has he shown up late? People who show up late like that to something that they're expected to be present for, they're trying to make an appearance. They're drawing attention deliberately to themselves. Yeah. This is the Ikechi show for him. Yeah. And I don't like that. I don't like it at all. And I feel sorry for him. I mean, I just see her like I would see a friend. And I'm like, no, you don't put yourself in this position. You don't give him this much power. I don't care if you think you're married. You're not. Yeah. You're not. Yeah. Just get out of it.
Well, and then too, like he showed up at the other dinner and he got her to
late again.
He got her to act a certain way.
He wanted to create that narrative.
Yes.
And he said that, I think, in that meeting with Dr. Pia, where she started to go off. She didn't initially go off. She was quiet when he got there at first. He baits her into things. He wants her to look bad. He wants her to be embarrassed. He wants to perpetuate this narrative about her being aggressive. Yes. And so if you trigger somebody, if you pick them enough, then they're going to respond negatively, and then you're going to be like, see, this is what I'm talking about. I didn't want to come here for this.
Look at what I'm dealing with.
Yes, you very did want to come here for that. That's exactly what you wanted to cause. Why? I don't know. Is he just a
demented
SHIT starter? I mean, maybe that's what he is.
Yeah. Sociopath. I don't know. But whatever it is, he needs to get rid of it and get it fixed. Because
I mean, at 40-something too.
Yeah, you don't engage in any type of relationships whatsoever, dude. Because you're just a hurt machine that's just gonna move from woman to woman, and you're just gonna leave them bruised, battered, and mentally distraught.
I hate that he's villainized himself so much that we can't even really focus on anything that he said that's legitimate, right? Because there are some things that are legitimate points that he's made that we've kind of tried, I've at least tried to touch on. Excuse me, guys, I still don't have my voice back. In previous weeks, we talked about some of those things, but he has overshadowed everything that is legit that he has to say or that he feels or that he's expressing with his behavior. Yeah. We can't do anything but defend Emem from this villain.
Yeah, because, to be honest with you, everybody can have a gripe or something that they feel that their spouse, their mate or whatever isn't living up to. Everyone can do that. But to the level of how he's behaving and treating her, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And I can't understand, again, why Dr. P, they obviously have seen this stuff on video, the stuff that he's doing.
They know what's going on.
So why? I don't understand. It seemed like when he sat down with Pastor Cal, he really would have gotten him. But he didn't. I don't understand why they let the villains continue to be villains throughout the whole season.
Because I think that just like we were earlier in the season, they're trying to hear him out. They're trying to say, okay, well, I get this point, but still, this isn't how you behave. Mm-hmm. So they're not going to just completely go in on him. Yeah. They're going to try to actually dissect things that were legitimate that he had to say, as well as address the things that she had to say. Mm-hmm. But I don't know.
I think people need to stop validating foolishness. That's what I think.
Yeah, this is the age of validation.
Yeah, because if he has, let's say he brings up 10 things, and 1 or 2 of those things he may have a smidgen of truth in them. No,
you don't want to hear any of it.
Toss it. I
don't wholly agree with that. It's just that at this point in the season, when it's over, whether Emem wants to admit to that or not, it's hard to see him as anything but fraudulent. Like, he just comes off like he didn't come here for any of the right reasons. So while she has character flaws, as everybody does, it's hard for it to ring true that these are his real issues with her. Yeah. Because he's acting out of so much malice, it seems. It's hard to honor it. Yeah. So.
Yeah. And then he gets on the after party, and I don't know how many months removed this is, but this guy hasn't learned anything. He's the same old.
And can I just say, and we haven't done a video on them yet, but I feel like we owe them a video just simply because of Carla. This is the truth sayer. Yeah. I like Carla. He likes Carla a lot because she calls it straight. She calls it like she sees it. When she tells you to your face, that just was silly. You know, she wanted to say something else, but she couldn't. Yeah. She contained herself. Yeah. But she was spot on. Yeah. He came there to do what he did, and he did it. Yeah. And then he ended up looking stupid. Yeah. So.
Exactly. I mean, I really didn't think I was going to like Carla at all. But when she's in, but when they said they put her in these after parties, my goodness, she's saying the things that I wish I was there to say. Honest to goodness. Really.
Yeah, she's gonna call a spade a spade. So anyway, guys, let us know what you think about Emem and Ikechi. Am I wrong? Like, if there's, you gotta know when to call it quits. And
gotta know when to fold them.
Yeah, and when to run. Not walk. Yeah, I mean, I just think it's okay. And I say this all the time. It's okay to just give up on these fake marriages when they're going that bad. You can't let somebody treat you like that. That's all I can say. And with that, you guys let us know if you think it's okay to treat people like that. No, but drop your comments below, guys. Like, share, subscribe, and we'll talk to you soon.